Hi, and welcome to the Team CPNZ Quick Connect podcast, where you can stay informed, keep connected, and learn from one another along the way. I'm your team captain, Richard Greer, and on today's podcast, we're going to catch up with Paul Botha. Now, Paul has been part of the Team CP community for nigh on 8 years. He's actually already started on our podcast previously after completing the Comrades Ultra Marathon in South Africa, the longest ultra running marathon in the world. A pretty epic event. That was all the way back in episode 5 in June 2020. So definitely get back to have a look at that. We are going to go all the way down to, what are we up to now? We're at episode 40 of our Community Connect and 187 in total. So 5 is a few days ago now. We've learned a few things since then. But today, instead of ultra marathon running, we're going to talk all about triathlon. Over the past 3 years, Paul has transformed those running legs, probably 4 years actually, with the Challenge Wanaka before that. He's transformed those running legs into cycling legs, and he would also say that he does a little bit of swimming on the side as well. He's completed his first full distance Ironman in Taupō 2023, where I stood on the start line with him actually. And while I ticked the box with a bit of a one and done till now anyway, Paul has completed his 4th full distance Ironman with the Cairns Ironman just a few weeks ago. So we're going to have a good chat to Paul about his build-up, what that meant to him, what the event was about, and everything in between. But before we get to Paul, I want to make sure that you have our Tour de France challenge on your schedule. It would have started a day or two ago as you listen to this. But the key trick with the Tour de France challenge is just like the May Meters challenge. It's always all about setting your own target. And then you're going to do the best to achieve that target with the support of the rest of the community. And maybe just to see if you can beat the person that's just above you on the ladder, and making sure I try beat Tim Hansen again. I probably shouldn't have said that. But basically, what we've done is taken the Tour de France elevation and the distance, about 3,500 Ks and about 50,000 vertical meters, something stupid that they do over like 21 days. And then we're breaking that down into a percentage. So if you were shooting for, say, 5% of that, that means that you need to do 322 Ks. And then you need to do 5,496 vertical meters across the course of the month. So that's an average of 70 Ks a week and 1,200 vertical meters a week. So if there's a bit of a mixture of running and biking, that's completely fine, because running is ×3. Trail running is ×3.25 on the app we've got. So that's where the calculation comes in based on time. So runners, bikers, everyone, the playing field is even. If you're keen, you could maybe go for 20% of the Tour de France. So that would be something like 600 Ks, 643 Ks, and 10,000 vertical meters. There has been, I think, somebody that's done 40%. That's 965 Ks through to 15,000 vertical meters. Getting on the silly side of halfway, but it'll be really interesting to see what happens. All the way down to 1% and 2%. 193 Ks for 2% and 3,000 vertical meters. So set your own challenge, have a crack at it, be involved, and if it's anything like May, it's all about keeping that consistency rolling during the winter months in the Southern Hemisphere, and maybe a little bit of madness and banter if May's anything to go by. So it's $20 to enter. $10 of each entry will go to our charity of choice, which is a Westpac helicopter, and hopefully none of us need to use it anytime soon. So make sure that you dial into that. Our June tune-up has just finished recently, so well done for 45 of those people that gave that a crack. 12 days of strength and mobility to help you running, riding, paddling, swimming, basically so you can go faster without getting injured. So hopefully that's gone well for you. Also, in other news, new stuff is our shop's also open for our current coach athletes, which offers a whole bunch of deals. Leighton, my brother, has actually been working on this as a wee bit of a project. A bunch of adventure gear, that's it, skincare products, Razdex gear, etc. And he's working on some more and more stuff to be added. So make sure you check in on that. There's definitely deals to be had there. And also a bit of a save the date, 31st of August, Sunday the 31st is our spring brunch ride and run, which we will have a chance to kind of get together and celebrate the fact that winter's over and spring is on its way. So lots of stuff going on. And without further ado, let's welcome Paul to the show. Team CP Connect, number 40, 187 in total. And let's catch up about Cairns and Paul's Ironman journey. Paul, welcome aboard.
Hi, Richard. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
We both have picked up a few grey hairs since we did the Ironman a few years ago.
I feel like I've probably picked up more than what you have, Paul. But maybe that's because you've been. Does that mean you've been enjoying it more or less stressed about it? I don't know.
It's just my ear is shorter than yours, that's all.
More aerodynamic. That's the story.
It's,
That's awesome, Paul. A couple of weeks ago that we did Cairns, are you still sort of sitting in the afterglow of the event? Where are you at with it all?
yeah. Oh yeah, it's still coming off a high finishing Cairns. It's such a good event. So
Yeah.
there's a bit of a surprise last year after completing the post-race survey in Taupō. I got an email to say I've won a free entry of my choice, excluding World Champs. And so I could have chosen any Ironman event anywhere.
Okay.
And
Wow,
so I
cool.
picked Cairns. And the
Yes.
reason I picked Cairns is it is the third most popular race on the Ironman circuit. And I've been seeing videos and social media posts about Cairns, and I can understand the hype. So yes, I'm still coming off the high from Cairns because it's such a good event. Really
Yeah,
enjoyed
good,
it.
good, good. So this is your fourth Ironman. You've done 3
Yes.
Taupōs, and there are
Yes.
Cairns Ironman as well.
Yes, that's
good.
correct.
That's awesome.
Yes,
so while we're
I know.
on sort of comparing Ironman and different events around the place, what made it different? What was the sort of key differences with Taupō?
I think, well, first of all, it's got to be the scenery. I mean, the scenery and so that Cairns event has got a split transition. So T1 is in Palm Cove, which is about 30 km north of Cairns, and T2 is in Cairns. And just that is a different experience, organizing yourself. How do you deal with that? But no idea where the name Palm Cove can come from, because it's so beautiful. That it's just amazing. And then the bike along the Great Barrier Reef up towards Port Douglas, and then the run in Cairns itself is just an amazing experience. It's a must-do for all triathletes. It really is such a cool event.
Yeah, so cool scenery to look at. The conditions dealt you, which we'll get to, but just from a pure event organisation, what it was about, where it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, and the atmosphere is amazing from pre-race, the registration, the race HQ, everything is just the vibe is there. It's Taupō on steroids. It's just amazing. It really is.
Good job. And you were telling me that the whole event village piece, that's bigger and
Yes,
more than Taupō was, and Taupō's pretty cool.
Yes, Taupō's cool. Oh, I love Taupō. That's why I've raced there more often. That I love it. But Cairns is just, they've got sponsor companies there that aren't in Taupō. It's just bigger. It's probably about twice the size as Taupō.
Yeah, nice. So how are you feeling? How was your build-up? Tell me about your build-up. Like, that's probably one of the challenges with Cairns. We've had a few people that have done it in the past, and it's all good. It's all good training for it. We're feeling pretty good. But then May hits, mid-May, and then it starts to get proper darker and proper cold, and it's not till sort of mid-June, which is winter, isn't it? How did your build-up go?
Well, it's not too dissimilar to last year. So last year in August, we went. I was part of the team that went to Townsville, that did the multi-sport world champs in Townsville last year. And it's pretty similar to that, having to train through winter for an event. It is a bit tough. In the back end of May, we had quite a cold patch, wet patch. So, but I did most of my biking on Zwift, and for me, that's an absolute game changer. Not being a cyclist, but doing it on Zwift. Was really useful. I mean, that in the old days, I don't know how people did it, but it worked well for me. So it wasn't too bad. As far as the actual training efforts were concerned, it wasn't too bad. I managed that pretty well.
Yeah, good stuff. That's good. And that Zwift thing does make a difference. Just the consistent power that you can hold, keep you interested of what you're doing, and that's what you just got to do. And it's about getting your body ready for that. And mentally, just sitting in that hurt locker, just grinding away. And
that's correct.
And we'll get to hurt locker a little bit. But your build-up was pretty busy. There was a bit going on. Just standing on the start line, you weren't even sure you were going to do that a day or two before.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it was so sort of the last 6 weeks leading into Cairns, had a really busy time, work-wise, outside of work with a bit of studies, and then also probably about 4 weeks out, started feeling a bit crook and had a few bad days where I wasn't sure whether it's a flu or what's happening. So
Yeah.
it's not been the smoothest build up. It's been solid,
Yeah.
but it's not been
Yeah.
my best build up for an event, that's for sure.
Yeah, with lots of work pressures and things going on.
Yes.
But tell me a little bit about that study side of things, because that's actually pretty cool. This is a little bit getting off topic in regards to an Ironman, but tell us about your studies that you've been doing.
Yeah, so that was the perfect storm in a teacup. So for anyone listening, I do not advise taking up the art of triathlons, especially Ironman, and doing a PhD at the same time. It's getting a little bit busy.
Plus working, it's not just doing the PhD, it's handing the thing in, it's finishing it, it's doing the
Yes.
defense bit. That's what you were doing. Like,
Yes.
what was it, the Tuesday of
Yes.
the race, you were doing your PhD defense?
Yes, that's correct. So in May, I submitted my thesis back in January, but I did my thesis by publication style. So 3 main chapters are publications and journals. And so in May, I got feedback on my last paper, which I had to edit and send back to the journal. So I had to do that. As soon as I finished that, I had to prepare for my defense. I had exactly 10 days to prepare for it. And the defense was the day before we flew out. So it's been full on. I remember saying to you when my taper started, it couldn't have started at a better time because it's right at the start of my defense.
Just thank God. Okay, don't think about that anymore. Let's just do this thing. Yeah, that's pretty full on. And just while we're talking PhDs as well, you're heading away as of, was it tomorrow or the next day, off to London?
Yes, that's correct. So the only competition is the one that I win. So one of my papers I submitted last year won an award. So I submitted a paper at the Institute for Civil Engineers in the UK, which is they've got a journal, a virtual journal, and they receive lots of papers. And so they received a medal for one of the best papers submitted in civil engineering last year. So
wow,
yeah, the award is next Thursday. Yep.
Cool. So you're flying over to receive that medal?
Yes, correct.
Good
flying
job.
through Dubai. Hopefully the Middle East will be safe by the time I get there.
Yep. Yeah, excuse me, coming through.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, well, congratulations on that, Paul. That's a huge effort, and that's all part of this whole gig, isn't it? Is balancing life and everything else that's going with it, and trying to make this thing work. It's never perfect, but you're making the best of it. And you weren't feeling amazing in the lead-in. You were like, I think I'm sick. I'm going to go anyway because I've booked tickets, and we'll just see what happens when you get over there. And tell us about how that unfolded.
Yes. So first of all, we Jetstar have got a direct flight to Cairns now from Christchurch, which is the only airline that flies direct, which is pretty cool. Not having to worry about your bike not turning up with a connecting flight. So flew direct. So we flew the Wednesday morning, the 11th, and we got there at about midday. Nice. I was telling people back in New Zealand, I won't tell you it's 27 because you won't like hearing it's 27, so I won't say it.
Thanks,
so it was
Paul.
pretty
Thanks,
nice.
Paul. Yeah, good. Well
done. And then, of course, the day after I got there was a big deadline at work that I had to deal to. And so while I was preparing for Cairns or getting ready to getting over the travel and getting ready, I still had work to do. So I was on Teams calls in the morning back to New Zealand. So it's been full on. So it's not the smoothest build up. But Friday afternoon when we went to Cairns, so we stayed in Palm Cove. And so Friday afternoon we went into Cairns to the event village to register and get ready. I was just immediately in the mood. I just wanted to go. I was looking forward to it.
We're good. Yeah, good stuff. That's it. It's on.
Yes.
Yeah, because you messaged me saying, I'm not feeling very well, but then you messaged me a day or two later saying, yep, it's on. It's good. Let's go. So that was pretty awesome. So standing on the start line, how were you feeling and what were the conditions like on the start line?
So the start line, the start itself, so the race, the full Ironman, the pro athletes start at 7:30. So the men start at 7:30 and then 5 minutes later, the females and then the age group start. It was pretty. So at 7:30, it was pretty calm. It was a calm
Yeah.
morning. Well,
Hmm.
as calm as you can get there at the moment. It was still windy, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
And swimming, being a runner who spends a bit of time in the pool, swimming is always my weakness. My race
Yeah.
starts as soon as I get back
Mm.
on land. So
Yeah.
I'm always nervous about the swim. But leading into Cairns, I was talking to a friend of mine back in New Zealand, and he reminded me. He said to me, "Just remember, if you can survive Taupō swim last year, which was pretty tough conditions,
Mm. Hmm.
where
Hmm.
quite a
Hmm.
few people didn't finish." He said, "You can do that swim in the ocean. Don't worry about it." And
Yeah. Yeah.
so key thing was for me was just to stay relaxed.
Yeah.
And it was, but I knew the way the wind was blowing, I'll get it. I'll have a tailwind going out. So I was looking forward to the exit of the swim because I knew that was going to be faster, and it was.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh, coming back in was going to be a tailwind.
yes,
Oh, good.
yes,
Rather than
yes,
blowing out
yes.
to
So
sea. Yeah, I
swimming,
like it.
yeah. So you swim.
Yeah.
I swim against the current and then back with the current back out. So I
Okay.
knew when I'm
Okay.
tired, I'll have some help from the back. So
Okay.
the
Good. And what about wildlife? We're in Australia. Is the
yeah,
swim open beforehand, or is it closed due to crocodiles?
yes, yes, it does. Well, there's nothing in the race manual that talks about crocodiles. There's
Okay.
signs on the beach to say there are crocodiles in the water. I never saw one, but it's funny you
Okay.
say that twice. So the swim course is sort of is 2 laps, and then
Yeah.
you do the exit. And
Uh-huh.
so on both laps on the back straight, there were swimmers around me, and it happened twice where as I was doing my stroke, I could feel my fingertips touching something. And I looked up and I see there's no swimmers around. So don't ask questions. Don't overthink it. Just keep going.
Okay. So there was a couple of reasons why the swim was a bit quicker on the way home. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know what it was, but I
Uh-huh.
hate to think what that was.
We don't need to worry about that. We'll just move on. We'll just get off that swim. So pretty happy to be out of the swim. Got that done. And then tell us about your
Yes.
bike ride. How did that go?
Well, just touch on the swim. I was
Yep.
when I got out and I saw my time, and it wasn't my fastest, but it wasn't my slowest either. So it was
Yep.
faster than the Taupō swim last year, which was pretty tough. So I
Yep.
was pretty happy with my time. I thought, well, that went well. I
Good, good,
survived
good,
it.
good.
Nothing ate, nothing bite
Yeah.
me. I survived the swim, and it's not a bad time. So I was pretty happy
Yeah.
coming out.
Good, good, good. So happy to be in T1 and feeling okay and ready to get on the bike.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. Yep.
Yep.
Look, it was,
Good.
I was, I was. So the Thursday we had lunch in Port Douglas, and
Yep.
just to drive over the course because you can't bike on the course, like
Yep.
just because of safety reasons. And
Yep.
I was just really looking forward because it's such a beautiful part of the world. So you bike,
Yep.
it's a bit like Kaikoura Coast with a bit of West Coast added to it. It's just a
Yep.
nice scenery. So
Mhm, mhm,
I
mhm.
was really excited about that. And at that point, the wind wasn't too bad. So got on the bike, went out. So you do. So the bike course is not quite 2 laps. It's two
Yeah.
2 laps of 75 k's and then a 30k bike into Cairns.
Right.
And so going out, the bit was tailwind, and on both laps coming back, it was a headwind, which wasn't
Yeah.
fun.
Mhm,
The
mhm, mhm.
forecast was about 40 km/h headwind, so it wasn't
Okay.
fun coming back at all.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And how did you approach that? Were you looking at your power meter? Were you just head down, bum up, doing what I could, or just pacing yourself, or
Yeah.
did it? Yeah. How were you?
So I was focusing on my power numbers.
Yeah.
Um, but also cadence, try and keep my cadence high, but focusing on power number
Yeah.
as well.
Hmm.
During training, I was pushing certain watts, and I thought I could maintain that because I was feeling
Yeah.
pretty good during training.
Yeah.
But I felt on the bike I just couldn't get my power number up. I just couldn't. So
Yeah.
even with the tailwind, I just had nothing to push.
Hmm.
I just couldn't
Hmm.
get there. So I think
Yeah.
if I look, so on my bike computer, I've got my normalized power as one of the
Yeah.
data screens. So I
Yeah.
kept an eye on it, and I was way down from what I was expecting,
Yeah.
but I just couldn't get it up. I think the body started saying, "You've had enough." So I was just starting to feel a bit, not feeling tired, but I just couldn't. The body just didn't want to go.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the power meter. The beauty of it is that it takes the wind out. It takes the fact I'm into this headwind and I'm going slow. So the power meter tells me how much oomph I'm putting down to go as quick as I can.
Yes.
But almost the negative of that is that on a day like you were having, actually, I wasn't performing physiologically sort of thing to the level that I could and should. And there's lots of reasons for that. Like you had a lot going on coming into that event. It's not like it's a smooth build up and you were super, super fresh. So freshness is a big part of that. But did it get in your head that I'm slow and I'm not being able to put out this power that I should be, and this headwind is a bitch and I want this over? And how were you dealing with that? What was going on in your head?
So I wasn't getting annoyed or trying to push any harder, because I know there's a marathon at the end, and having done enough standalone marathons in my life, I know how long and 42K is. So I thought, well, it's okay as long as I get off the bike, I'll be fine. Don't push too hard, because you still got to do a run, and the run is flat. It's not like Taupō where there's any elevation in the run. It's on the waterfront. And it's flat. So I knew as long as I get off the bike, I'll be fine on the run. So I wasn't, and so I thought, well, the best I can then do is to focus on my heart rate and make sure my heart rate doesn't spike. Because that's the next thing. Is heart rate. Power is an indication, but the heart rate is how you're actually going and how your body is doing.
Exactly right. 100%.
Yes. And also if you're dehydrating a little bit, it impacts your heart rate. So I focused on my heart rate and make sure that stays where I wanted it to be in order to be able to run. And on the bike, apart from it's just the last 30Ks coming into Cairns, which is, so going out, finishing this discussion on the 2 laps, it's got more elevation than Taupō, but Taupō, most of the elevation is basically in one climb, whereas Cairns is rolling hills. So I was just, and then the last bit into Cairns is just flat. But on the 2 laps, there are places where you're a little bit sheltered from the wind. Not much, but you are. But that last 30Ks was just a headwind. And you do sort of a few funny turns, but no matter how, it felt to me like this wind was coming from all directions, because I turned right and it's still a headwind. It's like, hell, how's this wind?
And what about the downhill into the headwind? Were you able to get a bit of speed on the downhill? What happened there?
Yeah, there was one place, not that I ended up in the penalty box, but a penalty box is at Reek's Lookout, and it's the highest point on the course, and I was coming down on the other end, which is probably, for those in Christchurch, it's probably about the same gradient, close to Dyer's Pass. So it's reasonably steep, and I was trying to push 200 watts, but I was losing speed on the downhill. I was like, well, this shouldn't be happening.
Right. On your TT bike in the aero position, and you're still losing speed, pushing 200 watts.
That's like, that's a bit rough.
That's right. So you finish this ride. I mean, that's the thing with an Ironman. It's not like you can kind of just turn up and wander through it and it'll be okay. It'll find you out, and it's tough, and it's a long, long way. So how were you approaching that run after that super tough bike ride, and when did it get super, super tough for you?
So that bike ride coming into Cairns, you do that funny lap. I was keeping an eye on my watch. So on my watch, I was looking at the total time, and I'm cutting it a bit fine for the bike cutoff. And as I was coming into Cairns, I got to a stage where I felt, well, if they pull me off the course now and say, sorry, you didn't make it, so I've done an aqua bike, it's fine. I just, in that last 30Ks, I started, my mind started playing up, where I was, so what? I'm physically fine, but my mind started wandering a bit, and I wasn't in the game. And so when I got onto transition, put the bike down, I said, thank goodness that's over. So I put my running gear on and started running, and I felt fine. That run course is absolutely amazing. So for these one part of the course where you actually physically run through an an outdoor seating area of a bar where they break up in two. So you run through
Okay.
an outdoor seating area, and then you run
Yep.
around along the waterfront on the boardwalk past all the restaurants. And that picked me up a little bit. And the first lap, I was running at the pace I was hoping to be able to sustain.
Okay, good.
And feeling fine. Legs weren't tired. Body was feeling fine. I was in my happy space. But bloody hell, that second lap, sort of halfway through that second lap, is where the fun really started. I remember you saying to me before the race, you said to me, well, dig deep if you have to. And that was that moment. That was just hard work just to keep moving. That wasn't fun.
Yeah. So you were down to a walk at that stage on that second lap?
Yes.
Like you pulled the walk.
Yes.
Still moving forward, but
still moving,
pretty.
but walking. So I looked at my watch and I started doing some maths, and I thought, well, so Cairns has got a 16.5-hour cutoff, not 17. So I started looking at my watch and think, well, even if I walk, I should be able to scrape in.
Okay, right.
And it got real tough, and sort of the second half of my second lap, I caught up with Paula, my partner, and just talked her through how I feel. She walked with me for a bit, and that really helped me. So after that, I started feeling a bit better and started picking up momentum again, and was able to, while slow, but I was able to run the last lap and a half. I was able to keep running.
So you were battling, and you were able to kind of share that. Did she give you a kick in the ass and say, "Come on, Paul, you've got to do this. We've travelled all this way," or did she give you a concrete tablet? what did she do to help you out?
No, she's a great supporter. She said to me, "Oh, look, you want another towel and a hoodie, because it's all about the towel when you go to a pool to South Dun Cairns." She said to me, even if you finish late, doesn't matter. Just keep going. Just keep moving.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Just finish it.
That's what we're here for.
Yes, we're here to finish it. So just get it done now. Just worry. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. Okay. So and then all of a sudden you were able to just pick yourself up and actually start moving and start running again.
Moving again. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good on you.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
So
and then finished it.
It was the towel that motivated you, but it was Paula that said, actually, what are we doing here and why are we doing it? So sharing how you're actually feeling made quite a difference to you, rather than just sort of shutting up shop.
Yes, that's correct. As you said to me after we did our first Taupō, you can't talk on the swim. You're not allowed to draft on the bike, and on the run, no one's talking because they're too tired. So at least I had someone to talk to.
That is true. And that is one of the things with this Ironman gig. Most other events, you can say something or you get a bit of feedback, but yeah, the Ironman felt like it was very much in your own zone the whole time. Like I felt when I was doing it, there was people cheering me on, but all I was doing was a nod of the eyebrows and a thumbs up, because I couldn't be bothered talking. I was too cold. Oh yeah.
I had a few laughs on the bike as I was biking, and once or twice I managed to pass someone on an uphill, and as I go past them, I say, "Who put this bloody hill here?" Just the face is like, what? Someone's talking on the bike?
What is that? Hang on a second. Where's that coming from? Who's that? Oh, good job, Paul. Bring the vibes. So the run continued on at the same pace after that sort of second lap dip. Did you manage to kind of keep rolling through 3 and 4?
Yes. I was picking. Actually, awesome. My last lap was a little bit faster than my second last lap. Not quite as fast as my first lap, but faster than my third lap. So
good on you. So passing a few people and cheering them on and sort of feeling better as you get to the finish line. That's awesome. And it's great to be finishing well.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Good job. How were you feeling crossing that finish line? And while I do this, I'm going to bring up my toast picture, which you may or may not have seen before. But how toasted would you, as a number 1 to 9, so 9 being just slightly toasted, 1 being completely burnt, where were you on the scale?
I was looking at that, probably about a 6, I think.
Really?
When I wasn't.
No.
Yeah, I was.
Surely not.
Yes.
Paul.
Yeah. Surely.
6.
Yep. I was feeling. Looking back at it, I was a lot more tired after Taupō, after every Taupō than Cairns. And that's
Right,
what I
okay.
mean. I think in any other situation, if my lead up was different, I think my finishing time would have been better, and I would have pushed myself harder.
So
I
you're
think I
saying a
was
6th, which is actually not super cooked because I was just tired. I'm just exhausted. I'm just, so you weren't
yes,
actually able
yes,
to put the
just
effort in quite the same as what you would have liked to
that's
or normally.
correct. That's
Okay,
correct.
right.
I was feeling and having that, as you know, of the events I've done, like the 24-hour runs and all that stuff. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I felt like someone who's just sleep deprived rather than someone who's done an
Right,
Ironman.
okay.
And
Okay,
the
okay.
Monday after the race, every time I've done Taupō, I for a few days my mind is almost foggy. It almost feel like I've got jet lag. That sort of
Yeah.
fogginess in my mind.
Mhm,
Monday I was just tired. I just needed
mhm,
to sleep.
mhm.
But apart from that, I was fine. So my body was fine. So and
Right,
that
so you
to me
just,
just says my mind was just not there.
so you're using that towel as a wee pillow or a blankie sort of thing. Pretty happy with the Ken's towel to sleep under. Thank
Yes,
goodness.
yes.
Yeah, must have felt pretty good coming across the finish line, did it?
Oh yeah, that. Oh yes,
Yeah,
always. An Ironman is
yeah,
always a good finish. Yes,
yeah. Good job.
absolutely.
Good job. Good job. So where to from here? What's Paul's triathlon journey looking like from here on in?
Yeah, so now that I've done 4, I'll probably there's probably going to be a 5 somewhere,
Yeah.
but not next year.
Okay.
So signed up. There's one thing I always commit to the next event when I come off an event. So I signed up for the 70.3 in Taupō next year.
Okay. Cool. So
I
a
want to
little bit
finish.
extra speed.
Yes, yes. I want to focus a little bit on a few 70.3 events.
Mm-hmm.
Probably come back to a full at some point. I feel like number 5 is probably on the card somewhere,
Yep.
but doing a few 70.3s would be a good change, I think.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yep. Nice. Nice. You mentioned to me when we caught up the other day, at least I didn't DNF. And what did you say
Yeah,
DNF stood
yeah,
for?
yes. So and Cairns, I that's the other thing. I hate DNF because that means
Yeah.
that nothing fatal. So I didn't do anything fatal. So I
Okay.
did
Good.
want it to finish.
Yes. 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 And therefore, if DNF did nothing fatal, what does DNS stand for?
That nothing stupid.
and you did start, so obviously you
Yes,
lined it up. You did well.
yes,
That's awesome.
yes,
Nice work, Paul.
yes.
To finish up, I've got a quick 5 here, so don't think about these too much. And actually, there might be a few more than 5 questions, so we'll just roll through them. So, what's your
Go
favorite
on then.
event so far? Favorite event so far?
Across everything I've
Favorite
done.
event? Yep.
Oh, still I have to say Comrades Marathon. It's still going to
Okay,
be
very good.
my favorite. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
Absolutely.
Are you wearing gumboots or jandals? Which do you prefer?
Depends what I'm doing. If I have to pick, gumboots.
Gumboots. Okay, so he's in the back garden, like it, with a bit of mud. Favorite location for a training run?
Sorry, you cut out there, Richard.
Oh, sorry. Favorite location for a training run?
Port Hills.
Good stuff. Winter or summer? What do you prefer?
Oh, that's a hard one. I like seasons. So if I have to, it depends what I'm training for. So if I have to pick, it's probably going to be summer.
What's your favorite breakfast?
Bacon, eggs on toast.
Favorite snack to eat while out on an adventure, on a mission?
You've convinced me. It's definitely custard square.
Oh, there you go. He's my man. Good stuff. That's why we get along so well, Paul. And would you prefer a solo run or in a group?
Both. It's hard to
Both.
pick between the two. Yes.
Nice
Yep.
work, Paul. Excellent work. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, and well done on an epic Cairns mission. And thanks you so much for sharing it with us as well. It's cool to be part of your journey and all the things that you do as well. And all the best for your travel. Hopefully that goes well in the next week or so. And look forward to sharing a photo of you with your medal. Is it a medal? A medal that you're going to receive in London.
Yeah. I don't know what the actual award looks like. It is a medal. It's called a medal. What the actual award looks like, I don't know. There's no picture on the internet, so I don't know what it looks like. So I'll send you a photo.
Cool. You better make sure you dress up smart. Probably take your dry suit off.
Yes. I'm changing lycra for a suit and tie. So yes.
Good on you.
It's the only way I can get on the podium.
Well done, Paul. Excellent. Well done. Well, thank you so much for joining us. All the best for your next adventure, and we'll look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thanks, Richard. Talk to you
Good job.
soon.
Well done, Paul. Cheers.
See ya. Bye.
See ya.